Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Echo, 50th episode. Who would have thought? Um, Not me for sure. And today, seriously, I'm all over the place. Um, but today I'm actually very excited because usually this started as a journal of all random things. Life has thrown a lot of politics into my show, but today we get to break away from that and are joined by Barry Maher,
Uh,
who is a writer. And well, he came out with a new book, and we're just talking a little bit about how this is the first time in about 8 to 10 years that I actually get past chapter one of a book because you really gotta get me in that first or second chapter. Otherwise, the hour or so, half an hour that I have, you know, I may have 2 hours a week to read.
mhm.
So gotta make it worth it if I'm gonna read something. So yours, I'm already at chapter. I finished chapter four like 4 days ago, 3 days ago. I'm waiting for a chance to get chapter five, which is I'm pretty sure once the school starts, I'll be able to get back to having a little bit of that time. But last book I read in full was Dan Brown, and
Mhm.
I forget the other one with Run, but Gone Baby Gone. Dan Brown also, I think it is. So it's like it's been a while. It's been a while since I got past chapter one, and you got me so far up chapter four, starting five, and I'm like, what the hell is gonna go on now? Because okay, we got back to the house. I basically caught up with a little reading you give out of the breakdown what it is. So I'm at the mansion now, where they're
Mhm.
cleaning it up and like starting to. So I thank you again for being a guest. Please let me shut up and let you speak now.
What would you like me to speak about?
Who are you? What do you do? What prompted you to
Why am
writing?
I here?
This is
Why is there?
unscripted. Yeah. What gets you going?
Yeah, well, I'm a writer. Obviously, I used to be a speaker, so I used to talk for a living, but now I write. I started out. I'm a product probably of 4 years at the University of Notre Dame, an hour and a half of the graduate journalism program in UC Berkeley, and 5 totally befuddled weeks at the Whopper College of the Burger King Corporation. I was like the worst Burger King Corporation manager in like the history of Burger King. Uh,
Oh, you
but
made
it's
it to manager. I had a one McDonald's job that I didn't make it past the grease cleaner.
well, that's where I was. I never got to the grease screening because they didn't do that in the manager school. That way, you give somebody else to do that. That's the first thing I learned. Somebody else does the grease cleaning.
Yeah, that's me. Sorry, go ahead. Uh,
Yeah. So anyway, so then I started. I started out basically as a freelance journalist of sorts, and my stuff was in maybe I don't know, maybe 100 different publications. And in order to eat, I had just about that many different jobs. At one point, I moved to the beach, not to a house on the beach, to the beach with the sand and
wow.
the seagulls. Yeah. So I wasn't doing
Some
real
people go
well.
into the woods to find a place to be homeless at. You said, screw it, let's go to the beach.
Yeah, you can sleep on the beach. It's very comfortable in Southern California, you know. So
People
that's
don't
what I
realize
did.
that.
Yeah,
It's
well,
a
it's a
true
good thing.
memory mattress.
So then I started telling my stories to corporations and associations, and that worked out a whole lot better. Uh, Nobody ever asked for their money back, to my absolute shock. And so that took me all over the country, all over the world, got me on the Today Show, got me in CNN, CBS, CNBC, New York Times, Wall Street Journal, USA Today,
Wow.
and Funeral Services Insider, my absolute favorite. I'm probably the only horror writer who's ever been in Funeral Services Insider. So
How, what is, hold on, I'm not aware of that. What is that?
no
What are we
one
talking
is.
about?
You have to be an undertaker to be aware of that. It's a it's a that's the kind of publication I was in everything is what I'm saying. Uh,
Wow, okay.
yeah,
You were
that's a
okay.
publication strictly for morticians. So I'm the only horror writer that's
Wow,
ever been in a mortician publication, probably.
that is awesome. What kind of articles come up under the same ones as?
Yeah, it didn't sell as many books as the New York Times, but what I was still proud of
Wow,
it. So I've been on
that is a
everything one time or
niche.
another. Yeah. Uh, so I had a very good life doing that as a speaker, and then I couldn't tell time one day, and my life changed pretty radically in a short period of time.
Do you mind if I ask why, or is it
Well, what
okay if you don't
happened was
want to?
I was speaking. I was speaking on an Asian cruise. You know, my life wasn't tough. When you're a speaker, you go to places where people go on vacation, right? Because that's where they have conferences, and then you go on cruises. And I was speaking on an Asian cruise, and I wanted to see how much time I had left in the session. So I looked out at the clock, and I couldn't figure out what the hands meant at the clock, and that wasn't good. And I realized I'd also been having trouble figuring out foreign currency in the last few days. And then I went to Vietnam.
No, but was that something you already knew, or
Well,
like,
when you're traveling around the world, you get pretty good at calculating foreign currency into your money, because otherwise,
yes,
you might be spending a whole lot more for the thing than you think you should be. Uh,
yeah,
so I was having trouble doing that calculation. And then I went to Vietnam, and a woman there wanted to sell a baseball cap for $7 American. American money, I should be able to figure out. I gave her $200 bills and a 10. It was a nice baseball cap. It was not that nice a baseball cap. I got back home, went to the doctor because I figured out something was not right. And first thing he
yeah.
did was, yeah, right, exactly. First thing he did was
Like,
have me draw a
well,
clock
because it's
face.
not something like me that I don't like. I don't deal with that often. But when you're in a cruise ship and you're making stops at a certain point, it becomes like 2 plus 2 is this. How many
Exactly.
meters are 100 yards? Well, we got about 300. 300 yards. We got about 100 meters, or so on and so forth. Like whatever the math. But they're the basics that you have there that you're basically not having.
Right, like telling time. I mean, you don't think about telling time. Can I figure out what the clock face means? You just tell time, and I
Yeah,
couldn't
I
do
thought
that.
you were telling a joke at first, not like a medical episode. I apologize.
Well, it was some kind of a medical episode. I knew, so I went to the doctor, and the first thing the doctor did was have me draw a clock face at 10 minutes to 3. The
Hmm.
second thing he did was take away my driver's license. Didn't even ask any more questions. Just said you can't be driving. I'd driven there. My
Wow.
car was parked outside. Sent me down for an immediate MRI. The nurse there at the MRI place wouldn't tell me the results. They're not allowed to tell the results. The doctor has to
Yeah.
tell me the results. But I said, well, where's the closest restroom? She said, I can't let you go in there alone. I
To
said,
the bathroom?
yeah, to the bathroom. She said, I can't let you go in the bathroom alone. I said, bathroom visitation, I've always been pretty good at it. And she said, yeah, like telling time. She said, you need to talk to your neurosurgeon. I said,
Wow.
yeah. I said, I don't have a neurosurgeon. She said, yes, you do. Yes, you do. This guy showed up and he explained to me that I had a brain tumor the size of a basketball. Or maybe he said baseball. I wasn't tracking real well at that point. But what was really clear, was pretty obvious, was what he wanted to do was take some sort of a power saw and cut open my skull and get the tumor out. So suddenly telling time didn't seem nearly as important, right? I mean, you can always get a digital watch anyway. And I mean, it's just like, no, I don't really need this done. I don't really need my skull cracked open. Because if you, I've
I'm
been in,
sorry. You did just made it into a good joke right now. It's like, nah, that's fine. Give me that
that
Mickey
was it.
Mouse
That's
digital
fine.
watch.
Well, I give you the choice between having your head cut open and not telling time. You'd probably take, who needs to tell time?
It's just freeing not to know.
Yeah. So I was pretty freaked out at that point, right?
Well,
Because
yeah.
the guy had diplomas all over his office. So he's a pretty sharp guy, Stanford, Harvard, all these places. But I've been surrounded by intelligent people my whole life. And to me, I think I've seen all the dumb things they've done. I think human intelligence tends to be really overrated. If you think of everything there is to know in the universe, I mean, everything you could possibly know, anything
Oh, we
anybody
don't
could
know a
possibly
grain
know,
of salt
we don't
compared to
know
the
a
whole
grain of
sack of
salt.
salt.
Exactly. And what I'm thinking is, on the scale of everything there is to know in the universe, the major difference between like Einstein and Coco the Wonder Chimp is that Einstein couldn't pick up bananas with his feet, so I was not ready to let this guy start carving over my skull. I mean, I was thinking, this doesn't really need to happen. I'm perfectly happy not being able to make change or tell time. But they talked me into it. I come out of the surgery. I've got Lady Gaga singing in my head nonstop on a loop, same song over and over again. And I've
Did
got
they play
this.
that in the operation table?
Who know? I don't know what happened. They said I might have had a stroke. They weren't sure. Maybe it was the power equipment they were using on my skull. But I
And
had
they
Lady
converted to
Gaga
Lady
singing,
Gaga.
yeah, over and over again. This song, same song, over and over and over again.
Which song was it? I'm just curious
It
if
was
you
that
know.
remember thing, remembering us, something about I should remember. I should remember it because it didn't stop for 2 days. But is remember something or remembering us or remember us is this.
The irony of the song that kept playing in your head because you couldn't of the operation, you were forgetting
Couldn't
too many
remember it.
things, and the song is called "Remember."
Yeah. So that's there. And I've also got this vivid, fully formed, horrific story in my head, like like a memory of something I just watched. And it's
Okay,
like, yeah, complete with open crypts, dark spells, sudden death, and the Ralph Lauren version of the Manson family. I mean, this thing is vivid. It's there, and I couldn't shake it. And fortunately, after a couple of days, Lady Gaga went away, but the story
but the
stayed with me.
story stayed.
Story stayed. I just couldn't. It was there, you know. What happened was, I spent when I was able to, which took a few weeks. I basically spent a couple of years turning this story into the Great Dick and the Dysfunctional Demon. You know, the book running across the crawl there, the Great Dick and the Dysfunctional Demon, and that's what started it. It all came from this story that happened when I was having my head cut open. It's
Wow,
a really bizarre story, but really bizarre true story.
wow. But you see, I love it. Makes me wanna continue reading it even more, even
Good.
though just because of it comes from just art. It literally just your mind went through some shit, and that's what it came up with while dealing with it, with a little bit of
Absolutely.
balance of pop music. Like what?
Yeah. I mean, this
And
stuff just came out of nowhere, and I don't know if it was because I had a seizure or because of all that power equipment in my head. You know, who knows? But that's the
that
way
is
my
good.
brain interpreted it.
I love that because you took something that is, I mean, traumatic, of course, and but most people we just get to go through it and move on. We
Yeah.
don't get the ability to be able to bring it out and for you to be able to have the opportunity to retain that story because it could have gone away as easily as the Lady Gaga song in your head.
Yeah, yeah, it could have gone or a dream. You know, you wake up, you've had a dream. Oh, you think, wow, what a dream, and you forget it immediately. And that's what I
And
expected.
if wow, I love it because that's why it's difficult for me to find other books to read. It's like not only finding a well written book, but also a story that doesn't seem like it was just produced to sell a book.
Yeah, yeah. Well, this certainly wasn't. I was just trying to get through that operation to the other side. You know.
Well, that makes sense. Why so far on the fourth episode, I'm already like, okay, this has a lot of crazy shit going on. Well, it's a fucking wild dream.
Yeah, that's it. It's got a lot of crazy shit going on, but it
I
all works
love
out.
it.
It all makes sense in the end. I mean, which is the strangest thing is it all ties together. So,
You actually got me reading out loud too,
oh,
by the
good,
way.
good. That's a good way to
Which
read.
is like I've been literally trying to like, okay, let me see how I don't even do that with other books. I usually just try to get it's like a competition with myself with how fast could I read a book, and it's never
Uh-huh.
fast.
Well, sit back
So
with this one, enjoy it, you know, because it should be enjoyed. And so
I
far, the people that read it, yeah, the reviews have been great. I can't believe it.
what is your favorite part of the book, if you have any?
My favorite, that's a good question. My favorite part of the book. You know, I like it when it all comes together at the end. You got 5 or 6 different characters, all with different emotions, all with different desires, and they all come together in this great crisis at the end. And it's really exciting. To me, it's really exciting. Every time I wrote it, because I wrote it in several drafts, you know, you'd write it and rewrite it and rewrite it. I'd be sweating by the end of the time I was writing it. I'd be so excited on this story. So I really enjoyed writing that part of it.
Now you said everything comes together nicely at the end. Does that mean Like this is a one book story, or is there any way that you're gonna be expanding later off of it?
Well, it comes together. When you write a story, you got to make it real, and it's got to be real to people, and it's got to be fulfilling to the reader, but it's also got to make them want more. So this is meant as a one book story. That's the way it was written, but it worked out. The characters, I like the characters so much, and it's so exciting, and people like it so much that I'm already working on a follow up for it. So there'll definitely
That's
be another book.
awesome.
Yeah, we'll get you
Well,
all the way through that one.
I definitely want to make sure that I get through this one. Which I'm excited because I feel like I'm starting to find a new series to come to read. Like Dennis Lehane, that was the baby gone, gone baby gone. Like reading some of his stories, I was like, oh
Uh-huh.
my god, they're so cool.
Yeah.
So it's nice to have another one that it might be coming to a series or something. At the very least, a second book.
It'll be at very least it'll be a second book, and I think it may go on more than that. We'll see. I'm
That's
pretty
awesome.
excited
Maybe we
about it
can
now.
make them into its own little audiobooks or something. Like
Yeah.
maybe we can make him like I was mentioning to you earlier. Each episode into its own little, each chapter into its own little episode, and we can start letting other people enjoy it as well. Because a lot of people are like me. Like I spend so much time driving or out and about, then
Uh-huh.
I have to listen to most of them. If I were to
Mhm.
listen to your book instead of reading it, I would have been done within a week.
Sure, of course. Yeah.
Because I mean, I drive like 120 miles a day. And
Wow.
so, yeah, I made numbers the other day. For work, it's about 35,000 miles. Personal, total personal use, everything about 43,000 miles a year. Yeah, I'm
It's a
not
lot
a
of
tractor
driving.
trailer driver. Yeah, I'm just an interpreter.
Yeah.
So, but I was like, oh my God, I would love to listen to this while I'm driving around and stuff because it's immerseful. That's the whole word that I'm
It
trying to
should
find.
be.
It's
It should.
immerseful.
It should be. And yeah, and hopefully the publisher controls whether it'll be an audiobook. Uh, so hopefully and I think it will be at some point. It's,
Hopefully. Yeah. I mean, that would be a very nice one because I would eat that up in a full week. I mean, at
well,
most.
it's so much action and excitement. It should. It would make a good audiobook, as I keep telling them. So the book's only been out a little while now, so hopefully pretty soon there'll be an audiobook too.
When did it came out?
It came out just a couple months ago
And it's on Amazon only, or can people find it
on
in other
Amazon.
places?
Yeah, it's Amazon's the best place to get it for the best price.
Okay.
So
Um, is that the only? I saw that you had another book as well. I
I
looked
wrote
you up online a little bit.
I wrote a lot of nonfiction when I was a speaker. Basically, I built my business by writing nonfiction, but they aren't
What
they
kind
aren't
of books, if you
really.
don't mind me asking?
Pardon me.
What kind, if you don't mind me asking?
Self help and marketing books, things like that. Depending
Okay.
on what was needed. Yeah, because when I was getting the business established, you really need a credential, and it was great to say you're the author of X Y or Z whatever, and uh,
Yeah.
and then people would buy the book too after the speaking, and that helped financially a lot.
Oh, it's a good thing you got the talent though for writing,
Well,
because
it
and
takes
even
it's a
for
lot of work.
speaking.
It takes a certain amount of talent, no doubt, but it's a lot of work. I mean, everything I write is several drafts. It's not just write it all down. That's what a lot of people don't realize. They think writing is inspiration. They get the inspiration, they write all this stuff down. Well, it is. That's fine, but then you got to go over it and over it and over it and make it, hone it like a jewel, make it as good as it can possibly be. So somebody keeps turning the pages. You know, yeah,
That's me. I
yeah.
was the one thinking, oh, this is just a quick thing and whatnot, and people should just love you to do it because a movie makes you think like you just sit there and write, and then with my job, it's like translations alone or just writing an email that it needs to. And you gotta go over so many things. And then I met a friend who's a writer. He's like, dude, you're out of your mind if you think that's what it is. It's
Yeah.
like you got one writing and about 50 passings after that.
Yeah, and that's it. Until it's just as good as you can possibly make it. Until every change you make is just changing it back to the way it was sometime before. You get it as good as you can possibly make it, then you move on to the next piece.
How do you keep it straight in your head though? Because after you go through so many possibilities for the path that you want to go, how do you remember, oh yeah, I wanted to go through this one over here in particular?
It's difficult, and that's one of the things you gain by going through multiple versions of it and multiple. But this one, it was easier because I had the story in my head, and I knew where the story was going and what it had to happen. And I had extra characters that I added and different motivation and things, but basically it had to form that basic story and go through it. And so that was a little easier, getting it from point A to point B to point C. But
You
when
were
you're writing
already
it,
there.
I knew where it was going to end up. So that was very helpful. But
Yeah,
getting it there,
it's a, sorry, right.
no, that's okay. Getting it there in a way that was completely believable to not only me, but to everybody that read it, is the hard part. And that's sort of that I had to make sure that was right. When I finished it, we sent it off to, it was about 7 or 8 drafts to get it where I wanted. We sent it off to 15 very successful writers. And I was really scared about what they would say. I
Yeah,
was,
we always get a peer review.
oh
It
yeah,
brings our biggest
review, yeah.
fears up to the front.
So I was sweating it. I have to. In fact, after we sent them off, I was thinking, boy, I shouldn't have sent that off. Are they going to hate it? Are some of them going to hate it? Are they going to damn it with faint praise? Oh yeah, pretty good, yeah. But
The
every
five
single
seconds of
one,
courage.
yeah.
Just do it.
You got well, if you do it, you got to have the courage to people review it and see what they think of it.
Yep.
Fortunately, every single one of these came back as a rave, one after another, after another, after another. They all raved about it, which was gratifying, but it was mostly it was a huge damn relief. Because I was expecting, anything.
Well,
So it
you
was
feel
really,
like a whole sack of something came off your shoulders.
yeah, it really was. It really was. I did this thing. It worked out well. I thought it worked out well, but then other people who knew what they were talking about thought it was exciting, thought it was worth reading, thought it was, you couldn't put it down. And that was really good to hear that from people, who are
That's
pretty
awesome. Because I
fussy.
mean, at least I tell people and I tell myself, even if nobody else likes your ideas or your thing, if you know it's a good idea, it's not hurting anybody else or whatever, just push forward with it.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter what. But having, it's not the same to swim against the current than to swim with the current. You get so much further, so much faster when you have people who believe in the same thing that you believe in. And,
absolutely.
oh, such a difference.
Absolutely. And that was, and we put those blurbs at the front of the book, every one. I think we got all 15 of them up there, just little things about what they said. And that was great. That was great. And it was
Yeah.
really great for me because if they'd come back, this is pretty good, or it would have been very tough. It would have been very tough. But now I see all these people believe in the book, so I believe in it as much myself, maybe more. I still believe in it.
Well, and the thing is, like, I don't know if it makes any difference, but most people are putting down ideas that I'm assuming, like anybody or any of us, ideas just pop, and then you start thinking about it, and things start develop on the characters or whatever thought you're having, conversations, whatever it is in your head, whether it is that you're rehearsing to create a story or just to have a conversation that you're going to have with somebody.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yours was a script given to you, basically. Like,
The
here's the
basic
whole
story.
thing, and you're gonna have to figure out the little details in between to make it fix, but here's the whole story for you to work with.
Right.
I find it awesome because I don't know for you, but for other people, writers, that kind of stuff is like that touch that people wait for, where maybe that's that snowball that gets my imagination going, gets more story going. So now all of a sudden I'm not struggling to get things happening in my head, but they're just more naturally flow.
It had to naturally flow. And that's what I had to do. I had to connect all the pieces. I knew it was here, it had to go here, and I had to make it go there smoothly and believably. So all the dialogue, I didn't get all the dialogue in the vision. And that had to be developed and had to work out just price. Plus, it had to be funny. I had to keep the book funny. So it was not
Are
only
you a
exciting,
comedian?
but it
Because I
was
read
also
that
fun.
you do some paranormal stuff, but you do comedy? Like,
Yeah, that's tough to do them both at the same time. So that's what it took many drafts to get the dialogue and get the humor and the excitement in at the same time. Sometimes even at the same instant, you know. So that's just work. That's hard work.
yeah, I think, what was the scene? I think it was by the part of the accident or something. I may be confusing, but she kind of like touches him, and it's this whole, okay, I know that you're this shit that you're not supposed to be, but at the same time, I'm getting horny. Like, what the hell is going on
Yeah,
with me? Am I? So it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
you throw in the drama thing, and then all of a sudden, it's that guy's mentality that it never goes away, no matter how much we wanna act like it's not there.
Right, exactly right. And so that's the other thing is you had to make it true, right? The story had to be true. I mean, it had to seem true. It had to ring true, because if there'd been a false note, you would have said, that's not the way it is. You know,
For a
Tarzan.
minute, I felt like the whole with the accident part where, again, I don't remember word by word, but you're describing the effect of how the bumper, I think it is, that is whipping by the hair or by the body and kind of like flakes the shit. It went so close that I could feel the wind go by me and
Yeah,
stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And smacking the guys and throwing it like I literally was like, "Oh my God, Carlos, read faster, dude. What's your problem?"
Well, that's what I want you to feel. What's going on here?
Well, let me ask you, what is the time this book should be finished in? Because for me, it's usually like times five.
Yeah, there's no time. You write when you read it, when you're comfortable, when you can take the time to read it and enjoy it. And however long it takes you to finish it is however long it takes you to finish it. Some people,
Because go ahead.
some people read it very quickly. Some people take a long time to read it. You
Well, I
know,
find myself for the first time rereading a couple of the paragraphs because normally I reread them to make sure I understand it, but and I don't know if it's your writing or something, but I'm literally just rereading just to enjoy. It only happened twice so far, but to actually just enjoy that little bit of um it went to grab him by the neck and then it just whatever it did.
yeah,
And you're putting a little twist on it, and the way that you're putting the quotations on how the people are talking and stuff like that, it makes it, at least to me, easier to read, given I'm like an undiagnosed learning disability type thing.
uh-huh.
But to me, it's just a lot easier to comprehend it. It's a lot easier, like the flow of it, for the words to stick in my head and they start forming that image instead
Mhm.
of what it normally happens, which is they go out the other ear and they just fall into the ground.
Well, that's the whole trick is make it so they stick in your head, so you're enjoying them. So I mean, because if you don't want it to be agony to read through something, it's got to be enjoyable all the way. And
But
when
that's
you're
why
writing this,
everybody has that intention. But
yeah,
that's why I'm so excited to actually not only all of a sudden you send me the book, I'm like, shit, I don't know if I can do reading books because what if I don't like the book? I'm not gonna be rude to the guy and say I don't like the book or some shit like
uh,
that.
well,
But then I started reading the first chapter. I'm like, okay, wait a minute, let me go a second. And then I read the second chapter, and then I was replying to you. It's like, yeah, I wanna do it because it's like meeting that, and I know you're recognized already, but to me, it's like when you find a new artist, a new somebody that gives you something to enjoy, and now I actually got the chance to talk to you about it, and this is the first out of several books, and holy shit, it's like if I would be talking to Denise Lehane, or if I would be talking to Dan Brown right now, and it's like, holy crap, dude. So again, thank you for talking to me about this.
well, thank you
Um,
for talking to me about it. Put me
you're
on your
reviving
show.
my passion of reading. That doesn't happen often. I'm the kind of guy that doesn't like to read. I like the audio and the video. So
Yeah.
thank you for that.
Well, good, because if you don't enjoy it, there's no point in reading it. So that's it was meant to be enjoyed. It was written to be enjoyed, you know. And
Now, do you? I noticed that, or when I search a little bit of you, that you're a little bit into the paranormal as well.
a little bit, yeah, yeah,
Do you think that had anything to do, like sent to you?
yeah, yeah. Well, no, obviously, there's supernatural things in the book.
Yeah,
I don't know if you got, and it gets more and more of that, and it
but
should
it
be.
being a fiction, you know what I mean, compared to your own belief. I never like to, just because you put in your story doesn't mean that that's how you feel about it.
Yeah. Well, in the story, it's got to be believable 100% of the time, and it's got to be believable how, no matter what you put in there. Now, whatever anything you put in there that isn't believable, it kills the whole thing. So gradually, you have to get up to the point where it's a little more believable, a little more out there, a little more out there, a little more out there, and then gradually, it pretty much explodes, and that has to be believable all the way through, and that takes some work.
That's awesome. Yeah, like I've been trying to find more of those are like those kind of books as well, like a little bit more paranormal stuff. Those are hard to find. Like not hard to find, but non-recycled stories,
Mhm.
non-recycled things.
Stuff that isn't
Um,
the same as everything else you already read. Yeah.
it's like a Bigfoot. You hear a story of Bigfoot and you hear most of them. I came across a few testimonials or something of people where their encounter and description were so completely different that they actually describe more of a behavior of actual animals in the wild, right?
Mm.
So now that one is like, okay, let me guide me on this one. It's a little bit more. So that's why I was wondering with the paranormal stuff, because I'm a big fan of the paranormal,
Uh,
um, very skeptic, because I'm like, when you've gone through something or had some experiences, you got like a higher bar of what you expect to see.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So that's why I was wondering if people will might link it into a paranormal thing, some conscious, your body going into thinking whatever your soul and whatnot while you're under the effect and all that. So I don't know if you just thought it was something that how your brain reacted to the mutilation it was going through
Yeah.
to as a self-defense or something else.
It's really hard to say, and I would be open to all kinds of suggestions, and no one's been able to explain to me, and I don't think there is an explanation. It's like asking somebody, "Why did you dream that?" You know, but this was a lot more vivid than any dream.
The fact that I'm still in the awe that you got to keep it because I try to remember my dreams in the morning. I don't know if you ever try that. And
Yeah.
I try to retell in myself, especially like if you wake up mid sleep, I try to say it out loud and it helps remember a little bit when I wake up a few hours later. But if I don't do it again, even that little bit, it's freaking
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah. It's
So
very difficult. And this was
I
more like
am
I woke up and it was more like a memory of something that I'd seen than a dream. It was more like something happened to you last night and you saw it, you watched it. And
did
this
you
was
woke
more
up
like that.
freaked out or something?
Pardon me?
Did it freak you out or something like when you
Oh,
wake
it
up,
was
when you woke up?
a little bit, but I was more, I was still drugged up from having my head cut open. So the fact that it stayed with me so long, I found, yeah, a little disconcerting. That's for sure.
Now let me ask you, how are you doing health wise?
I'm great. I'm great. I was really lucky. A lot of I tell the story. People think, "Oh my God, you went through a lot." Compared to what a lot of people go through, I went through nothing. It was
It could always be worse.
can always be worse. And I had this giant tumor, but it didn't encroach upon the brain, which is everything. If it had
That's
encroached upon the brain, I probably wouldn't have been able to think clearly when it went away. Uh,
hmm
but and the cancer's in remission, so it's I can think as clearly as I ever could. I don't know how clearly that is, but as clearly as I ever could. I can tell time, you know.
You can go back to paying $7 for a hat, not 200.
Right, right. And I can probably write better than I ever could because I tend to be more empathetic after having been through the experience. I pay more attention to detail. Uh, and if anything, it may have helped me.
That's awesome. Well, I do want to say I'm very glad that it worked out the way that it did. Yeah, because
Me too.
those are the things that people, when I say people, us, we either disregard or can see it for what we choose it to be. I don't know. But to me, that's a miracle. That's what people will literally say a miracle
Yeah.
because it didn't encroach on your brain. Where I'm looking at you right now, and I would have never imagined that you had brain surgery, basically.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
You know what I mean?
If
Like,
you put your hand on the side of my head, you could feel it. But yeah.
but it could have been so much worse where
Oh yeah.
you went through a horrible experience and now you're actually making something extremely positive out of it, where it could have ended up, you know what I mean? And my brother had a miracle when he was alive, when he was 15. Whether it's a miracle, well, it's up to you. The doctor said you're 14, brain swollen, operations, screws on the brain, 2 weeks in a coma. If you wake up, if your son wakes up, he's going to be a 14-year-old baby. You're going to have to teach him how to talk, how to walk, how to eat, change himself, everything. And he woke up and the first thing that he said is like, what the fuck are you all looking at? Go get me some food. I'm hungry. So, you know what I mean? Like, we call him Darth Vader because he had a scar from here to here from the accident, and they had to open his trachea. And the doctor said, well, the best way to explain it is you can shove a mango seed down his throat and he won't choke. Wow. So, yeah, he will breathe and he was like, just for the hole. So they fixed that after years and stuff. And he went through so much rehab, rods in his legs and stuff like that. But you can look at it as everything bad happens to me, or as that's a goddamn miracle. That not only you're alive, but you're alive in full functioning everything.
And
6 months of therapies and a year or so of, to get back to walking and everything. But that's a fucking miracle.
Good
so
enough.
I think you had a miracle yourself.
Well, yeah, I remember coming out of that is when I was in the recovery and at the hospital, and I'd walk around the ward, and everybody I saw, every room I passed, they were in far worse condition than I ever was. And that puts it in perspective pretty quickly. It's like, hey,
it can always be worse.
It can always be worse. And that a lot of people have it a whole lot worse than you do for almost all of us, fortunately.
And so, yeah, I'm very glad because that now gives me not only an author to read, because now we went from, self-help, very important books. I'm not going to lie. They're extremely important, but I'm more of give me the fake action and stuff like that. So it excites me a lot.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Now, anything else that you would like to share with us, or?
I would just encourage everyone to go out and try it. Here it is. I'll show it to you. Can you put it on camera here? The Great Dick.
It's right there.
The Great Dick and the Dysfunctional Demon. I think you'll like it. People seem to really like it.
So far, I'm telling you, I agree with you because I really think people will enjoy reading this story. I can't wait for the second book. Now you're killing me though, because you said you already started writing it. So I'm already kind of like, finish this one. Maybe we can get an early interview for the second one.
Sure. Absolutely.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you so much for Barry for joining me today. I would love it if it's okay with you to make this more of a little bit of a regular thing where you can, share somewhere. Maybe if your editorial allows it, we can do a little reading of a chapter on another episode or something.
That sounds good to me, Carlos.
So
thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Thank you. I mean, dude, seriously, I am like, my hands are sweaty from excitement. So
Well, I hope the book does that to you.
I must sound so fucking bad on all these videos because of it's just me and I get excited. So what can I say?
Well, that's good. I
But
want you to be excited. I wrote the book for people to be excited about.
well, thank you so much. And thank you everybody who logged in today. I hope I didn't miss any comments because I honestly, well, Bill can tell you we were having issues trying to log in the device or ourselves here. So I'm basically using my phone. Um, but any questions or anything like that, go to the Facebook page. You can also reach out Barry directly through his website or his Facebook. Or if you send them to us, any information or questions or something, we'll pass them down to him. Do go check out the book, The Great Dick. Not like I had originally typed in The Great Big Dick, but I don't know what happened there. But let's leave Richard alone. Uh, well, thank you so much, everyone. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much, Barry.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to today's episode. Don't forget to follow this podcast so that you don't miss any new episodes. You can also search for PKDK on your favorite podcast player for all the other shows that we have.